Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the Sports Scene with the Wood Brothers. I am your host, as always, David Wood, and joining me very, very soon should be one of the knuckleheads that'll be coming on here pretty quick. I just wanted to tell everybody we're going to be doing a lot of these at least once a month. We'll get on and do our regular podcast, the Sports Scene. Just a little deviation away from our normal Toller Rattler stuff that we normally do all of the time. And want to say congratulations to both the boys basketball team from Toller as well as the girls going quite far. The girls went all the way to the regional semifinal, and they lost last night to Idalou. And then the boys dropped their by-district game against Holiday, a very, very close nail biter. Congratulations to both teams. Very, very, very good season for both. And that's what Toller does. They go to the playoffs and they win and they do good and that sort of thing. And, football, be it basketball, volleyball. Of course, you've got coming up, and you're going to be seeing some of it starting in March, Rattler baseball. And hopefully we'll have the girls softball, a couple of games there. And, broadcast those to round out our broadcast of Toller Sports this year. Coming on very shortly will be Donnie. I know he wanted to do this tonight, and we've got a great lineup for you. We're going to talk about some Major League Baseball action. Spring training has started. Man, my juices are getting all worked up for baseball, and the Texas Rangers have an amazing lineup. They have an amazing start to the season, at least on paper. We're going to see how it matriculates, and we'll talk all about Major League Baseball. We're also going to be talking about the draft. The draft's coming up. We're going to give you our way too early draft coverage. And then, of course, we've got some questions. And there he is. Everybody was asking for him, at least all the single ladies were asking for Donnie. Donnie, what's going on, man? You got to turn your mic on. Hang on.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. There you
All
are.
right. Hey, David, it's cold. It's cold outside.
It's a little cold outside. But don't sing that song. They'll cancel you.
Yeah, you get canceled.
Yeah. You can sing WAP, but you can't sing Baby It's Cold Outside.
No, you can't.
Looky here. Looky here.
Sup?
Sup, man? What's going on, man?
Hey, man. How's it going?
Hey, man. Dougie Wood joining us. It's going to be a great time. Move your head a little bit so we can block out your ceiling fan there, buddy. All right. We've got a lot of stuff to get to tonight. We're going to be talking about a lot of, move over just this way.
There you go.
There you go.
Oh,
you can turn off the light.
Go back.
All right. Oh, almost there. All right. I was just telling everybody, Donnie, we've got a heck of a show for everybody tonight. We're going to talk a little bit the way too early draft look. And, of course, we'll just be looking at Cowboys. We can talk about some of the other ideas that we've got going around about them. And I really don't want to go any more deep on the Cowboys other than maybe the first three picks, that sort of thing. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Rangers because it is baseball time in Texas, man. Are you excited?
Getting there.
Getting there. There he is. He's got his little pullover on. He's ready for the show. And then we've got we got a couple of great lists, Donnie. Go over our list for everybody, if you would.
All right. So, and I like to keep it topical. Are y'all getting an echo, or is it just me?
No, it's just you.
All right. I got to hear myself twice. So that's horrible. So, I like to keep it topical, right?
Yes.
So the first list is due to the last week's game, the hockey game against USA and Canada.
Yeah.
Which was pretty cool.
USA.
Those pansy Canadians were booing our national anthem.
Didn't you think it was great that they had like 3 fights in the first, I think it was the first 7 seconds of the game.
Yeah.
They had 3 fights. I love it.
It was awesome.
We lost Doug. I don't know where he went off to.
He hit snooze or something when I.
Well, you said hockey, and he jumped off. Hey, Doug, Donnie
What?
didn't offend you when he said hockey, right?
I could not hear anything.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you now. Did you hear us?
Now, yeah, now I
Okay,
can.
good
All
deal.
right.
Good
So
deal.
in reference
What?
to that, we're going to do the top 5 sports rivalries of all time, of
Okay,
our time, and then the
top
other
five
list.
of our time.
Yeah.
Okay,
And the top 5, the other list is the top 5 movies of all time. So this, obviously, movie watching is a sport, like David likes to say.
mm-hmm.
So that's going to be all the movies that's been around forever, top 5.
Top five.
And then
Excellent.
I got a question, though.
Yeah,
So it's cold outside. I don't know if y'all know this.
it's cold outside, baby.
So people like to eat chili when it's cold, right?
Oh, chili. It's
So
if you don't love chili, you're not Texan.
that's right.
Yeah,
So I want to ask people out there, you're going to eat your chili. You're going to
yeah,
have chili, just chili,
chili.
or just in chili with beans? You're going to have beans in your chili or not?
Oh, you're
No.
gonna put the beans in your chili. We need to know. We're gonna get everybody to comment, and then hopefully we're gonna get everybody's opinion on it on the three of us. I know what each one of you guys are gonna say, so we'll get to that. It is of course February the 19th, 2025. Can you believe it, boys? David Wood's still alive in 2025. It's a miracle. I'm telling you.
Yes, it is a miracle.
It is a miracle.
It's a
What do you want to
miracle I
start
haven't
with, Donnie?
proved
You
it
want to
yet.
go draft or you want to go Rangers?
Let's go Rangers.
Let's go Texas Rangers. Texas Rangers, they brought back Bochy, which I didn't think Bochy would come back after last season. I thought, after the World Series win and then last year after the debacle that it was, and everything, I thought he would just go off and fade off into the sunset. No, he's gonna make us watch him have a heart attack walking out to the mound, and all of that and everything. But he's back. But man, have they assembled a squad, and this is going to be quite some team. You want to talk about pitching or hitting first, Donnie?
We can talk all about everything.
All right, let's
Let's
start
roll
with
with the
this.
lineup.
I'm going to talk about this beautiful rotation. Let's start with that, Donnie, because Jacob deGrom apparently is ready. He is ready to come back. And then, of course, you got behind him Nathan Eovaldi. He's pretty good. And then you got John Gray. You got 3 right-handers right there, Donnie. And then we're going to surprise them with a lefty and bring in Cody Bradford. He's slated to be their 4th pitcher right now. Of course, spring training, just kind of getting some steam right now. And then Tyler Mahaly, who they got in the offseason, another right-handed pitcher. This could be a really, really, really good starting rotation, don't you think?
Yeah, I'll go first. I think this rotation looks really good, and I think they got some depth too. They got a couple of young arms that could make that step. But if they stay healthy with this rotation, I think it's got to be one of the better rotations in the league. And I think Cody Bradford is a guy that can really surprise some people. If he would have stayed healthy last year, there's no telling what he would have done. But you got 2 aces right there with deGrom and Eovaldi.
Yeah, 1 and 1A. And let me ask you, who do you think out of this group, and I'll get each of y'all's response, who do you think is going to throw the most strikeouts this year out of that rotation? Who do you think your strikeout king is going to be this year out of that 5?
Well, it depends on if he stays healthy. If deGrom stays healthy, it's definitely going to be him. But it'll be in between him and Uvalde for sure.
Yeah, I think so. But I'll tell you what, the surprise dark horse in all of that is Tyler Mahaly. I'm telling you, watch out for this guy. He could be scary, scary good. I think he's going to be a really good pitcher this year for the Rangers.
Yeah, he did really good when he got healthy last year. He did some really good things. That's why I think this rotation could be one of the best in the league, because I think you got pretty much two number ones, and I think a couple of those guys could move up to be number twos, and then you got two or three number threes. So the starting rotation is going to have to carry them, obviously, because I mean the bullpen is going to be solid, but we don't have a closer. That concerns me.
Do you think? Out of all of the arms that they picked up in the offseason and everything for that bullpen, and the bullpen I think looks pretty decent. Who do you think has the outside chance? I think it's probably Martin, wouldn't you say?
Doug?
Who?
Chris Martin.
I have no idea. I haven't really looked at it yet. I don't know who they have in the bullpen. I really just know about those starters.
Yeah.
But I haven't really looked at the bullpen yet. It depends on who comes out of, injuries in spring training, screw everything up, because you may have a bullpen guy that's going to have to start. It just, we got to wait and see.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know who would be closing any games. I'm glad we didn't. I mean, Leclerc is gone, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm glad we didn't pay money for him, because when he was good, he was good. When he was terrible, it was tough to watch. So anyway,
the only thing I didn't like was they didn't bring back Yates, because I thought I don't think he would have cost you too much money. The Dodgers got another stud pitcher in their bullpen, but they didn't really do anything as a closer. I think Chris Martin might be the guy.
I think he is. I think he's going to be the guy. Maybe Dunning.
Dunning, no.
You think he'll just keep him for long? And
then
throw him in for spot
starts. Yeah.
Luis Crivello. I think there's Luis Crivello. He might be a guy.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
But they've got some solid bullpen guys, but really not anybody that's a closer. So that concerns me. And who knows? Maybe they'll throw Jack Leiter in there.
Oh, hey, it's interesting. Then, of course, you go to the other side of the coin, offense. How about this, Donnie? Your starting lineup. Now, show me a weak spot there, Donnie. Show me a weak spot. I got it up on the screen. Show me a weak spot. Who's the weak spot?
Probably your number 8.
Number 8, Jonah Heim. Well, somebody's got to catch, Donnie, and catchers never can hit unless their name is Pudge Rodriguez. Doug, show me a weak spot.
Number 8.
Number 8, Jonah Heim. Yeah, offensively, Heim's had some success from time to time, but he's basically a defensive catcher. Now they did get a good backup catcher in. Say his name for me, Donnie. Higazoka. Higazoka. Why do they have so many paragraphs in their name? That's just crazy.
I call him Kyle Higgy, so just call him Higgy.
Higgy. Yeah. I think that was a good pickup, and I think with time off and with Heim being able to rest a little bit, maybe his bat will be a little bit stronger. Who knows? We'll see. But man, what a murder's row. You got Simeon, Seager, Langford, Garcia. You're tired already. And then here comes Jock Peterson, who's going to hit it probably a country mile. And Josh Jung right behind him. So you can't pitch around Peterson because you got Young. Then Berger, he can also smack it. And then you get the rest with Heim, but then here's Evan Carter right behind it. I mean, this is a dangerous lineup, and probably, I dare say, probably one of the best starting lineups in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and people were saying that because if Jonah Heim has a bounce back like he had 2 years ago, and is solid and hits you 20 or so home runs with the backup Kyle Higgy in there. And if I think the key thing probably is Evan Carter. Evan Carter had a tough start last year, and then he got hurt. So we don't know what he is. I mean, when he came up the end of the year 2 years ago in our World Series run, he was dynamite. But what is he going to do? That's the key thing. But if you look at this lineup, 1 through 9, you have potential for every one of them to hit 20 home runs.
Yeah, you do.
Even Jonah Heim.
Yeah, yeah. And I think with all those big bats, that's also going to allow Heim to relax a little bit and be okay. You know what I'm saying? And he might be able to do something there.
And David, one of the things that I thought he might be used for a trade bait, he still might towards the end of the middle of the season. But one player that's key was key last year with all the injuries, but is it Josh Smith? But if Corey Seager and Simeon can stay healthy, he's not going to find a whole lot of time. And if Josh Young stays healthy, but he's a great utility player because he can play all three of those positions.
Yeah,
but
and then
he's a guy that can play every day.
Yeah, most definitely. Doug, that light's killing me. If you can move your head over just a little bit. Oh, there he went. So I think the Rangers. My prediction is that they'll win the West. I think they'll contend, and they'll probably be. I'm going to say we'll be in the American League Championship Series. From there, who knows? We'll see where it goes from there, but it should be good. If you're using your cell phone, Doug, it's a little bit harder to get audio to do correct. Can you hear us?
I'll try to get my computer up.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. So Doug's going to try to do that. While he's trying to do that, we're going to continue on.
Hey, David.
Yeah.
One guy that we didn't mention in the bullpen, he's starting right now. He's in the 60-day IL, but he's a guy that possibly could be your closer eventually, especially once he gets healthy. But that's Josh Forrest. Josh Forrest, he's a closer in the making, I think.
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah. I like Milner. I like Latz. There's a couple of guys. Webb. I got a couple of guys on my radar to watch out of that bullpen. I think there's some talent down there, and I think we'll do some good things. It's just going to be a matter of if we're going to be able to put all the parts and pieces together. Exciting year. Everybody's geared up for it. Spring training's happening. And again, I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, Donnie, we're fixing to start carrying some Toller Rattler baseball, baby. It's baseball time in Toller. And they're in a tournament. I think Saturday they're going to play. Can you believe it, Donnie? I wouldn't want to hit a ball. I wouldn't want to have a bat and hit a ball in sub-zero weather. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think they were going to start it, was it tomorrow, but they pushed it back.
They pushed it
Saturday,
back. It's just going to be the one day event, and they're going to have it. And they've got 2 games scheduled and everything. You can go on to our Facebook page, folks, if you're interested in watching some high school baseball. Saturday's going to be a lovely day, they say. They say the weather's going to be just wonderful. What, 40 degrees?
Yeah, on Saturday? Is it supposed to rain?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I'm ready for warm weather. I have enough of this cold stuff.
Well, it's coming next week. We're going to be in the 70s and
hey, David.
And hitting all cylinders. Yes.
So,
hey, Donnie.
I know you got something planned for March 27th, right?
March 27th. That is opening day.
You got my tickets, right?
They're going to be opening day, and it's going to be the Boston Red Sox. I've got 6 tickets, and I'm going to take 6 of my closest friends with me to go see opening day. And let's see, I'm going to take June. June's going to go. I'm going to take June. Me, June, Nick, Sarah's going to go.
Oh, come on.
I'm going to see if a couple of my neighbors will go.
No. You know, them girls don't want to watch no baseball.
What? I do remember, quite frankly, somebody taking somebody of the female persuasion to the ball field whenever I asked you, do you want to go watch it in the stadium? And you were like, yeah, that sounds cool. That'd be kind of cool and everything. I don't know if I can do it or not.
No, you did
that
not.
sounds pretty cool. And then the next thing I hear, where you at, Donnie? I'm in the stadium with
No,
a
you
girl.
No, you did not.
A girl.
But the reason I did that, because that was the game, game 5?
5, I think, yes.
Game 6, whatever. the game that we won the World Series at. I was there at the stadium, and I had to bring my wife because
Why?
I knew we were going to win, and I needed
It's
somebody
a girl.
I needed somebody to kiss right after we won. So I wasn't going to kiss you. That's for dang sure.
Well, you usually grab some girl or some guy next to you and kiss them when she ain't around.
It was everybody was kissing everybody.
Yeah. I think we lost Doug. I don't know where he went.
Well, he's still trying to work on it.
Working on the computer.
Hey, the first preseason game is coming up February 1st.
Yeah.
It's here, man.
Are you excited?
I'm excited. I really like our chances, man. Bochy, he likes to do this thing where he wins the World Series, kind of has a year off, and then comes back and wins another World Series.
Yeah. Had a few beers, This little World Series hangover.
He win the World Series, he'll probably retire.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, that's it. That's a look. I'll throw them up again one more time so people can see it. Those lineups. There's Doug. Oh my God, much better.
No,
That's lovely. Lovely.
I'm still on my phone.
Ow. That light, man. Get a different angle. All right. I'm going to throw that up again one more time to show those lineups. Did you like the lineups, Donnie? Does this not get... Whoa, that's the wrong lineup. Does this get you excited or what?
I love that lineup.
Gets you excited. What happens? First batter, Donnie, tell us. Play by play, what happens?
Well, Marcus Simeon hits the first pitch and hits a double.
Hits a double. He's at second. And then Corey Seager steps up. What happens?
Corey Seager, they walk him because they're scared of him.
So 2 on, no outs. Wyatt Langford comes up.
Wyatt Langford hits a 3-run homer in left field seats.
3-0 against the Red Sox. We are up, and Adolis Garcia comes up.
Adolis goes opposite field, hits a solo shot.
A solo shot. It's 4-0. Jock Peterson comes up, debuting in Texas. Come on, baby.
Jock Peterson hits a double in the left field alley.
Left field alley. Got a man at second, no outs. And
Josh
Young comes.
He hits a single.
He hits a single. That moves Jock over to third. You got runners at the corners for big Jake Berger.
And then Berger goes Berger time in the center field bleachers.
Oh, hits it out there to the happy people. It is 7-0. No outs, and Jonah Heim comes up to bat.
He strikes out.
Oh, my God. No faith in the young man. Then Evan Carter comes up, the youngster.
He hits a double and steals third base, and then he steals home.
There you go. 8-0. First inning. Donnie Woods got him great. And then on the bump, Donnie, on the bump, you got Mr. Jacob DeGrom. First batter, he faces. What does he do?
Well, let's make this real quick. He pitches a complete game, no-hitter with 18 strikeouts.
Woo! 18 strikeouts. Perfect game. Mows them down. The Big Red Machine is not so good. All right, so there you go. There you go. I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
I'm excited too, man.
What's wrong with Doug?
What's wrong with Doug?
Yeah.
Well, Doug, it's technology, Dottie. It's technology.
He needs his wife to help him, I think.
All right. So we're going to move along to, I don't know what happened to him. He was there, then he wasn't. Okay.
Maybe
so
we're talking too much.
Huh?
Maybe we're talking too much.
No, we're not talking too much. He was driving me crazy. Okay. So here we go. We want him back, man. Doug, if you're listening, get back on this thing, man. You can do it. You can do it. Okay, so here we go. We're talking about the, let's go straight to it, Donnie. NFL draft. Now, the Cowboys have done one big thing. They've had one big signing. Oh, it was the head coach, Brian Schottenheimer. He brings on Matt Eberflus as the defensive coordinator, and now he's got Clayton Adams from the Cardinals, offensive line head coach. They bring him on for the OC. And Donnie, one thing I like about what he said this just yesterday, I believe. The tone that he wants his offense to set is he wants people going out there looking to create violence. And I love that word in football, violence. It means go out there and smack somebody.
Yeah,
Smack
love
'em.
that. That's what football's about, right?
That's right, man. And if your name is Clayton Adams, I mean, that's a tough guy name right there. Clayton Adams.
Is
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. Smack you in the mouth, Adams. If you got a wussy name like Clayton, you got to be pretty tough. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a tough guy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't even know who is. Where did he come from?
He was the Arizona Cardinals offensive line coach. If you're an offensive line coach, I mean, my God, you got to be tough as nails. I mean, because if you ever gone to a buffet with a bunch of offensive linemen, Donnie, it's not pretty.
Yeah, I go every other day. Every other day, go to the offensive line buffet. Yep,
Yep.
that's the way I
There's
roll.
two things in life you don't want to do, Donnie. You don't want to go to lunch with a bunch of offensive linemen, and you don't want to go to brunch with a bunch of women. Okay, those are the two things you don't want to do.
Yeah, because you don't want the brunch with the women when they have mimosas,
Oh my gosh,
because they get really crazy, man.
violent. There's where the violence comes from, right there.
Well, I don't know about violence, but they get really silly with
Are
those
you kidding
mimosas.
me?
Those mimosas, man, they get all, you know, just all crazy and happy and
Get all loose, huh?
yeah.
So, Matt Eberflus, Donnie, we know Matt Eberflus. What do you think
Here's
about
your,
him coming in and being our DC?
well, he's got an unfortunate last name, but I like it. I
He's a
think,
tough guy, man. You go
yeah,
through life with the name Eberflus. The only way it could have gotten better on these coordinators, Donnie, is if you'd have had a Clayton Eberflus. You know, if you'd have had a Clayton Eberflus, that's
yeah,
one mad, motor scooter. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. No, I really like that defense coordinator. He's, I know he had a little bit of head coaching experience with the Bears, which didn't work out too well, but he was highly regarded defense coordinator. That's why he became a head coach. So he can run a defense, and that's our best signing, I think. Besides the defensive or the special teams coordinator, he was the defensive coordinator for San Francisco last year. Those are the two best signings. I'm gonna wait to see about the head coach. There's got to be a reason why people kind of did not put him as a head coach all these years. Maybe he'll surprise us. I just don't know. Maybe he'll have a little bit of his dad in him. His dad was a good head coach. He's a little hamstrung though because he got an owner that wants to be in his business. So.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, we'll see how it goes. It's going to be really nice and everything. We're going to get to this. We've been talking about it. It's our way too early. Hang on. Let me get this up here, Donnie. It's our way too early draft projections. And today we set on February the 19th, looking into something that's going to happen in late April. There's a lot of things that are going to go down between now and then. And, the main thing that I want the Cowboys to do is focus on free agency. I think this year we really need to make a mark in free agency. And I love the fact that they brought some of these guys over because I did a little bit of studying, Donnie. Brian Schottenheimer and Matt Eberflus really, really, really love the free agent market. And they have had a history of bringing in free agents on their other teams and melding them with the personnel that they've already got. This is going to be key. And I think that you're going to be looking at doing some things there. Now, the one thing I'll say before we get into these projections, because you wanted to do the projections just on the college players coming in and looking at that sort of thing, I will say that on my number one pick, I want the Cowboys to trade their number one. I want them to give another number one and probably a 4, and I want them to get Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett wants to play for the Dallas Cowboys. Myles Garrett has asked for a trade. The Browns are going to acquiesce and do this. The other team that's vying for his services is the Philadelphia Eagles, and you daggum sure don't want him over there. You put Myles Garrett, who wants to play in Dallas. He's a Texas boy, played high school football right there in the Metroplex. You've got Myles Garrett on one side and Micah Parsons on the other. We rule the world. It doesn't really matter what happens after that. You rule the world. You've got two of the most awesome pass rushers in the NFL. That's what I want them to do with their first round pick this year. Do that, give off a future 1 and a future 3 or 4, and sign Myles Garrett. I'm Team Myles.
Yeah, I'm not hating that. You know, it is hard to trade 2 first round picks for one player.
Not if it's Myles Garrett.
Yeah, I mean, he's what, 30 years old. He's honestly, you know, at 30.
Well, okay, let me ask you this: when was the last time we won a Super Bowl, Donnie?
Well, are we that one player away from being there?
I think on this defense, you add him, you add a couple of other parts and pieces. Okay, you've got the new DC, which I really believe in. I think, and his philosophy is turnovers and interceptions. We want turnovers and interceptions. Well, the best way to get an interception is to have a hard pass rush. And you watch the Cowboy games along with me. They had 2 or 3 people blocking my boy Parsons, and then the quarterback sitting over there in the lawn chair being able to hit anybody. You know, and you give a quarterback that much time, you give receivers that much time, somebody's going to be open, and you're going to get toasted. And that was the Achilles heel of the Cowboys. You add another pass rusher, you add a couple of other parts and pieces to that defense. You play with the aggression and under the tutelage of Matt Eberflus, and I believe the Dallas Cowboys have one of the best defensive units. Again, the year before last, we had the number 1 defense, or close to the top 5 defense in the NFL. Top 5 defense in the NFL, and we go to the bottom of the barrel this last season. I'm telling you what, I really believe that Myles Garrett can make a huge difference, and if he can help you get to the Super Bowl, it's worth a couple of number 1s. That's for sure.
You know, I mean, I like it and everything, but you also got to think you're giving up 2 first round picks and probably a 4th rounder or something, but 2 first round picks for sure. And you're also taking on that salary. You're paying this guy a lot of money, so that's going to take a lot of money from other areas for your team's needs. So, you know, the more I thought about it, I don't know if I'd do it just a lot because of that and the 2 first round picks. Obviously, if you get them, it does change your defense, and you're going to have one of the better defenses in the league. But are you going to have enough money to get other players that you need to fill spots for?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Donnie. I'm glad you mentioned that because if you listened to last podcast, I said, and I told everybody where the money's coming from. The money's come from not re-signing DeMarcus Lawrence, free agent. You can walk away from that contract. You're going to walk away from Woods' contract, or Cooks' contract. I'm sorry, Cooks' contract. You don't bring him back. And that was a huge contract. Trey Lance is a free agent. Let him go. Let him go. I mean, just let him go. Let him walk away. You walk away from some of these big monies. Zach Martin is going to retire. He is not going to play this year. You can just write it down, put it in 3-inch headlines. Zach Martin is done. And that big contract, gone. So you got a lot of contracts, a lot of free agent contracts that you can cut away money from and spend on other free agents. Yes, they have the money and they can do it. You know, it's funny to me that other teams find a way to hire or finds a way to get these big contract players. Plus, Myles Garrett will restructure his contract. It's a trade and sign, and I guarantee you he will restructure some one of his contracts or extend out some of his contracts and help the Cowboys. And you know how those contract people are. They can spread and splice stuff all of the time. Plus, you could probably get Cleveland to get on the hook for some of that.
Well, a couple other things you got to do. And plus, there's so many other areas. There he is.
There he is.
Hey, Doug, we're talking Cowboys, and right now, some free agent draft talk right now. But one thing you also got to do is restructure Dak and CD's contract. That'll give you some money. You need to go ahead, sign Parsons, and that way you can free up money. Even though you're signing him to a contract now, you'll free up money because you'll extend it out and all that stuff. They're going to have a lot of money to use if they want to in free agency.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was telling Donnie, Doug, I don't know if you were listening or not, that my deal is trade for before we get into these projections, which we're just going to do college players or the draft, a pure draft, no trades, no nothing, and basically. But I said what my hope and desire is that they trade their first round pick, maybe even another first round pick, and maybe a fourth round pick in later drafts, and sign Myles Garrett. Get Myles Garrett on this team. You put Myles Garrett. He wants to be here. He's desiring to be here, and you can get him, bring him in, put him opposite Parsons, and boy, you've solved a big hole in your defense.
Well, I would love to have Myles Garrett, but I mean, how many more years is he going to be the dominant player that you have? And how do you think that the Cowboys offensively, like their line, they need help? So offensively, are they going to be a championship team if you add Myles Garrett? No, I don't think so. I mean, their defense will probably be about 75% better, yeah, but their offense, their line needs help. He needs serious help.
Well, we're gonna address that because we're gonna go straight to the draft. Donnie, I know you've been looking at this hard and heavy. You had a slide rule and all kinds of charts, and I saw over there at your office you got a bunch of crayon marks on the wall where you've been drawing up plans and ideas and players and everything. We're gonna get into this. This is the 2025 way too early draft projections. We're going to do 3 rounds for the Dallas Cowboys and try to figure out. We're going to fix them right here. We're going to fix them. Give us some names for your first round there, Donnie. What are you going to do in first round? You got pick number 12.
Well, you got some names like obviously Ashton Genty, Luther Burden, wide receiver out of Missouri, Ted McMillan, wide receiver out of Arizona. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. The Kelvin Banks out of Texas, offensive tackle. Mike Green, defensive end out of Marshall. Those are some of the guys. But obviously, we got a lot of needs. Offensive line, running back, defensive line. Those are our main areas, I think, that we need to address in the draft. And if this kid's there, and I'm hoping he's going to be there. I'm afraid he might not. But if he's there, you got to take this kid because I think he's a difference maker. I think you saw the New York or the Philadelphia Eagles. What the difference they had with Barkley. Made the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. And that was the biggest difference in that team. You get a kid that's going to be a dynamite stud running back for years. He's just head and shoulders over everybody else in that position. Ashton Genty, I take him at number 12 if he's there, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's exactly who I have at number 12, Donnie, is Ashton Genty. That's who I want. Now, I think I've got him graded a little bit higher in my grades. I've got him at 10, but who needs running backs ahead of them, or who's going to be even looking at running backs? There's a lot more needs in a lot of different areas. The Cowboys definitely need a running back. This guy is the best by head and shoulders over everybody else in the draft at running back position. I'm going Ashton Genty. Now, you mentioned a couple others. I've got a couple of others. Luther Burden, you said Luther Burden the third, right, Donnie? Wide receiver out of Missouri. That kid, he's 5'11", 205. He's a really, really good wide receiver and instant day one starter, I think, for the Cowboys. If you get him, I have him ranked at 12, which is kind of funny because out of my rankings, I had him at 12. A couple of other names that I'm interested in that first round is Siobhan Ravel Jr. He's out of East Carolina. He's a cornerback, 6'3", 193. I want a big cornerback, Donnie. I'm tired of these namby-pamby little bitty shrimps that are skin and bones and teeny tiny. I want somebody that's going to hit you in the mouth. This guy is going to be a really, really good ball player. And then there's one other player, and I had him ranked way down at 25, but I think I'm going to have to reshuffle my positions, Donnie, because this guy's coming on strong. And, You saw him in the unfortunately you saw him in the national championship. Jalen Walker. Okay, Jalen Walker out of Georgia. He was the edge, and this kid is gonna be a really, really, really good pro football player. That's a guy I'm also interested in the first round. So out of my draft, me and you had the same guy, Ashton Gentry, and we moved to Dougie. Before we moved to Dougie, I want to do this to kind of help you because we had a little bit more time to prep. Doug did not. I'm gonna show you a couple of things. SI came out with their projections, Doug, and let me see if the SI, if I got it right here. I think this is SI. Yes, this is Daniel Jeremiah's mock draft for 2005. He's got Abdul Carter going 1, Cam Ward, Travis Hunter, Will Campbell, Mason Graham, Shadur Sanders going to the Raiders, Tyler Warren going to the Jets, Jalen Walker going to the Panthers, Mike Green going to edge out of Marshall, going to the Saints. By the way, did you like the Saints, Donnie? They get your boy at head coach. And then Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. That's a good offensive lineman right there at 10 to the Bears. That's his picks. We've got another mock draft over here. Let me pull it up for you. Why is this doing it? Okay.
Okay. Well, I don't need those mock drafts. I'll just go by what I want. What I think the Cowboys team needs at the number 1 draft selection pick. They're not going to pass this year, but they better go offensive linemen. The running back positions are deep in this year's draft. I've got my eye for a guy in the 3rd round that I want that is going to be, I think, awesome. Rico Dowdle is a good running back. He's a really good running back.
He won't be on our team, Doug. He's a free agent.
He had a terrible offensive line, no help, and Dak was out more than half the year. Rico Dowdle was your offensive MVP last year, dude. I mean, CeeDee Lamb, yeah, but Dowdle was. Look what he did on a terrible offensive team. So he's very much a decent running back. I would let him stay and not go after Genty. Now, if Dowdle leaves, then yeah, Genty. But he's only going to look at what did Barkley do with the Giants?
He did a lot of good stuff.
Crickets. Yeah, he did a lot of good stuff.
Crickets. Come on, guys. He didn't make them better. He didn't have a line with the Giants. The difference between the Giants and Eagles were the stupid offensive linemen. And that's what we need. We need a strong offensive line.
I do have a couple of
Ohio State. Simmons.
Yeah, I have him ranked at 17 in our draft. You could trade down. And get a Simmons in the draft. Even Will Campbell may even be down in the draft, depending on who gets picked up above him and everything. But offensive line, as we have learned in the draft, and the Cowboys have had a track record of this, they have done horrible picking offensive linemen round 1 in the NFL draft. And I just think I think you have a position player need, and I'm with Donnie. You got to have people that are going to be electric, that are going to put points on the board for you, and that sort of thing. This guy is a difference maker. Genty is a difference maker. He's what some people call a generational running back, and that's why if he's there, you got to take him.
Yeah, and I think I like Doug's pick. If Genty's not there, because he could go earlier.
Yeah.
If Genty and McMillan are gone, I take Josh Simmons because I think he could be a left tackle for the Cowboys, and that makes your offensive line better. I think one of the things the Cowboys need to do, though, it depends. Obviously, the free agency will happen before the draft. So a lot of this depends on what we do in the free agency.
Yeah.
I think there's some offensive linemen, some good offensive linemen in free agency that we can maybe snag. So that might help in that area.
And Donnie, one of those offensive tackles that are premiums that are up there, and we're talking about Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks Jr. out of Texas. Those two guys, if the draft falls a certain way, one of those guys might be available for you. If Genty goes up, one of those guys may slide down. You know, in that SI deal, they had Banks at 10, and so that's only 2 slots. So you take Genty and you put him up, he could slide to you. So you know, I like the idea of going offensive line. Offensive line is definitely a place of need that I have. And then anything and everything defense and wide receiver and running back. I've got those positions in mind. Let's scoosh on over to the second round pick. We're picking 44, Donnie. Are there a couple of names that interest you around 44?
Yeah, there are a few names. Jack Sawyer, linebacker, defensive end, Ohio State. Jandra Barron, the cornerback, safety out of Texas. I really like him. I think he is a really good defensive back. Savion Williams, TCU wide receiver. Let's see, a couple other guys. Marion Hampton. If we don't get Genty in the first round, in the second round, if he's there, Marion Hampton, running back out of North Carolina, I take him. Another running back, Caleb Johnson, Iowa running back, would be maybe available there at the second round. But my second round pick, because I took Ashton Genty, I took care of my running back position. I need help at wide receiver. Besides CD Lamb, we have nothing, guys. We have nothing at wide receiver. So I'm taking this guy. He don't have to be a number one because we got a number one wide receiver, CD Lamb. But this guy can help CD Lamb even that much better. He's a smaller type running back, but he is dynamite. Tez Johnson, wide receiver out of Oregon. I would grab him in the second round. If I already got Genty, I'm taking Tez Johnson, Oregon wide receiver in the second round, number 44 pick.
Wow. Shocker, Donnie. I've got a couple of names.
Good pick, Donnie.
It's a good pick. I don't even have him anywhere on my second round projections. And wow.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my second round Tuesday draft selection. Cowboys are gonna pass. No. All right, so I'm with Donnie, except for I didn't go running back again. I got my eye on a guy. I think he's going to go in the third round. I pray to God we can get him in the third round. Now, if Hampton is there, since I didn't get my running back with Genty, I might have to pull the trigger because that dude's a stud. I think he's going to be a Peterson. Yeah. But my second round Hughes draft pick, I was looking at the Oregon receiver too, Johnson. He's a playmaker. But I got a guy that I think is going to be another Puka Nacua, guys. And he's a TCU wide receiver, Jack Beck. He's he is. I see it in him. Puka Nacua came out of nowhere. He's the same type of receiver. Hands, dirty. He'll go across the middle. He's physical. That's my choose pick at round 2.
Well, that is a big reach. I have him ranked at 138 in my projections, and I had Savion even deeper, Donnie. So, boy, you guys are surprising me on that. I've got a couple of names. Donnie, me and you were thinking alike. I got Jack Sawyer also on the list. Jack Sawyer's a difference maker at linebacker, boys, and he's just a football player. You saw it in that final game, man. He can make things happen. Another guy from Ohio State, wide receiver, is Emeka Egbuka. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
He'll be gone in the first round, though.
that guy's a stud. I've got him
Yeah.
at 32, which he could fall depending on, again, this is the way people, this is my board and this is where I'm at. If he's on my board, I scratch him and I move to the next one. A couple of other guys, just names. I had Barron, the cornerback from Texas, on my list. I had Trey Harris, Ole Miss wide receiver, 6'3", 210, really, really good wide receiver. Hampton, the running back out of North Carolina. If I don't get Genty, he's my second pick. I like Hampton. I think he could be a difference maker. If I take a lineman or I take a defensive player in the first round, I'm definitely in. And if Hampton's around, I'm going to take him. I have him at 53 on my list. Cameron Williams is also going to be down there. And if I really needed a offensive tackle, right now I've got him at 55, but I've got an arrow up, which means I want to see how he comes out. I know he was a little beat up towards the end of the season, but this guy's put a really, really nice track record. He was only a junior. He declared for the draft early, and he's coming out. But Cameron Williams, Donnie, you know what a nasty guy this guy is. He can really, really get after it. 6'5", 335 pounds, and decent feet. And that's what it takes to play in the NFL on the offensive line. So lots of different names there, but I've already taken Genty. I'm looking at the draft board. I got to pick somebody. The clock is ticking down. I'm with you. I think Anugba is gone, so I'm going to go with Barron out of Texas, the cornerback, and I'm going to solidify a position of need on that defense and go with him.
You know what's funny is I don't mind any of those picks, those second round picks. If any of those guys are there, I think Doug. I said Savion Williams was one of the guys. Him and Beck are, I think, pretty much even, and a lot of especially after the workouts, and maybe it was the senior day or whatever. Beck moved up in the draft, and that's not a bad pick. I think that would be a good pick. I think Barron would be a great pick, especially with all the defensive backs that we're losing, or possibly could lose. So any of those three picks, of course, I like mine better. But hey.
But hey, here's one thing I'll say too is this is the way too early projections, and a lot of things are going to fall in place. Free agency. I think the Cowboys are going to be a players in free agency this year. I also believe that depending on how the chips fall, and again, like you say, Donnie, we haven't had a combine yet. We haven't seen a lot more of these players come out. Beck really did take a big step forward, and he had some national prominence with what happened with his brother and that sort of thing. And then Savion. I've been screaming for years that Savion was not getting the credit that's due him, and I think you'll see his number go up quite a bit too as we progress towards the draft. Now the Cowboys picked 76th in the third round, and what I did was I did projections. I just wrote down and projected all of the players in numerical order where I felt like they fall at, and 76 is really, really interesting to me. I think this is going to be a good one, and I'll start it off. I've got a couple of names for you. I don't know. I think I watched too much Texas football this last year, but one name I've got on here is Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. He's declared for the draft. He was a junior, so he's a young guy coming out of the draft. He's got decent size, not real big, but he's got decent size. I think with some good coaching and C.D. Lamb on the other side, I think that he could definitely solidify a need there for you. Jordan Birch out of Oregon is also a guy that intrigues me. Defensive lineman, and we need a lineman. Listen to this, guys. 6'6", 295. That's a body you can put in the middle. Osa could go. He could leave. Say his last name for me, Donnie. Osa Gabaga. Yeah. That guy, he's a free agent, so he could leave the Cowboys, and he was really, really big. He was a really good player for us in the middle of the line, probably the only good player in the middle of the line for us this last year. Yep. And if he goes, you got to replace him. I like Birch. Jackson Dart, he's a quarterback out of Ole Miss. If that kid's around, you got to think Because look, you got no backup quarterback. You got Cooper Rush. Come on, man. Cooper Rush. Come on, man. I don't think so. Xavier Watts, safety out of Notre Dame, very heady player. And then I've got another safety, Rod Moore, out of Michigan, another good player. I like defensive players. I like defense, but if I'm going to put my name on one here at 76, I'm probably going to go Jordan Birch, unless Beck is available. If Beck is there, I'm taking Beck.
You got to make a decision.
I'm taking Beck.
All right, wide receiver.
I think he'll be there. Well, he's a tight end / wide receiver. It's one of them hybrid wide receivers, you know. And
you talking about the same guy that
TCU?
In the second
round?
round?
Out of TCU. Yeah. Yeah.
He's not big enough to be a tight end. He's a wide receiver, dude. He's picking to
He played a lot of tight end for the he played a lot of tight end and he played that inside receiver spot.
Well,
I like his size.
He played everywhere. Okay, my third round pick is going to be a running back, guys. I'm going running back. I'm going with who I think is going to be probably a rookie of the year candidate.
Are you going to take that midget that played for that Iowa team?
I'm going with Cam Scatterboot.
Yeah, that's who I figured you'd take.
Is amazing. He can catch. He has a motor. Yeah. Cam Scatterboot's my second running back. He could be a first starter.
I just want to make a public announcement to all the children that might be listening out there. Alcohol's bad for you, kids. Don't drink and get on a podcast, okay? Scatterboo is, you know what he is? He's a what was that running back that we have for the Cowboys that gets killed every time he gets the football, Donnie? He's the coach's son.
Oh,
he was out of Kansas. Played really, really great for years.
Vaughn?
Yeah. Yeah, Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce Vaughn?
He's a Deuce Vaughn 2.0. This guy is a shrimp and he's a punk and I don't like him. I don't want him playing on my team.
What?
I want him out of here. No, I don't want him.
220, dude.
No.
David.
You need to go watch
He's 220 and 5'3".
No.
He's not.
You need to go watch some highlights of him whooping up.
I care not.
God, Lord.
He's a cocky dude too, man. I don't like cockiness.
All right, my third round pick for the Cowboys. And by the way, Doug, I like that pick.
5'11", 215.
Scatterboo is a good pick at third round. And I think the only thing is I don't think he's a guy that can – he's not a Genty or a Hampton, and obviously he's in the third round, so he's obviously not going to be that. You're going to have another guy, to share the load. But he's very interesting. I really was impressed when he played against Texas especially, but obviously he did that all year, and he could do a lot of different things. So that's not a bad pick.
That was their team, Donnie. Cam Scatterboot. That was the whole team was Cam Scatterboot.
Yeah.
How many touches did he have against Texas?
But college is a lot different, though, in pros.
Yes, it is.
So.
It is, but still, his volume never dropped in any game last year.
If I take a running back out of the third round, I'm taking Caleb Johnson out of Iowa. I think he'll make a better pro back than Scatterboo.
Yeah, I don't know if Caleb Johnson would be there in the third round.
I have him ranked 60 in my projection.
I like him a little bit better than Scatterboo. I probably like Henderson maybe a little bit better than Scatterboo, running back out of Ohio State. But that's not bad. My number three, the number 76 pick, I've addressed running back and wide receiver. These are some of the names I'm looking at. I got Wyatt Millam. He's an offensive guard out of West Virginia. If these other two guys aren't there, I'm taking him. He would be able to slip right in there at the offensive guard position. right from the get-go. The other guy is Norman Lott, defensive tackle out of Tennessee. We got to get some defensive line help. He's solid. He is a beast. But I am going to go with another defensive tackle out of South Carolina, T.J. Sanders. I think he will go in there, be a starter at the defensive tackle position, and help that defensive line that needs lots of help.
Yeah, he could be there. Definitely. He could definitely be there. That's not a bad pick. Not a bad pick at all. So what I want to do, hang on, let me get my deal here. Donnie, give us your your first three picks and position.
My first pick is Ashton Genty. My second pick is Tez Johnson, wide receiver. And my third pick is T.J. Sanders, defensive tackle, South Carolina.
All right. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. Doug, what were your three?
Simmons, offensive tackle, round 1. Round 2, Jack Back, wide receiver, TCU. Third round, Cam Skataboo, running back.
Okay. And I've got Ashton Genty, running back out of Boise State. And I've got John Day. How do you say his name? John Day? Barron?
Yeah.
Cornerback out of Texas. And then I've got Jack Beck, TCU wide receiver. I think if any of our draft selections come available, come through, we'll do pretty good. You look and see. Again, this is the way too early projections, way too early, because there's going to be a lot of things that are going to happen, and the big thing that's going to happen is free agency. I don't even think we're going to have a number 1 pick, because I think that the Cowboys are going to get smart and they're going to go after. Because if you told me, Donnie, who was your number 1 pick, and you tell me it's Myles Garrett, man, you have won the draft. There's not one player. There's not one player in this draft that's better than Myles Garrett. And a lot of people say, well, his age. I'm telling you, these players now can go a little bit longer than normal, and he's at a high level. He's one of the top defensive ends in the league right now today. And so you put him on the other side of Parsons, you have really, really, really done something special. And then you look at all these great players that we've talked about and the options that we have to help build that team up, plus free agency. And trust me, guys, Cowboys are going to be very, very, very active in free agency, because they've got a lot of trash that they're going to dump, and they're going to have some cap money.
Yeah, I think so. If Jerry Jones does something right, finally, he'll spend some money in free agency, because there's some guys. A first guy I get is the linebacker Nick Moulton out of Kansas City. He's my number 1 target, and I'll find one of the offensive linemen that's a free agent. But I want Nick Moulton on my team.
Yeah, Nick Bolton's a stud. He would be a good player. I'd rather have Myles Garrett.
Yeah, if you get a linebacker in free agency and an offensive lineman, offensive tackle, I'm looking at that Baltimore offensive tackle. If you can get him, and then my draft will change.
Yeah.
It depends on what we give up.
Yeah.
Now
we will do another one of these projections, and we'll come back on and we'll do another later projection, I guess, and be able to do these. But write down these picks that you picked today, and then when we come back to doing our picks later on, we'll see how much they've changed and what all's gone on and everything. Donnie, it is list time. It's list time in Texas. Let's do it right now. A great list Donnie has put together. Which one do you want to do first?
Let's do the top 5 movies of all time. I think there's some people that might be listening. That have been waiting for this list. And a little shout out to my daughter Lauren there in Virginia. She's probably interested in the top 5 movies of all time.
Yeah, top 5 movies of all time. I love it. I love it, Donnie. This is going to be a lot of fun and everything. I will go first at 5. Are you ready?
Yes.
Everybody ready? I have a tie.
You can't do that. That's mine.
I have a tie. By the way, guys, we do have a couple of newspaper articles that are coming out about the sports scene. We've been real fortunate to have some media coverage for the sports scene. Got to talk to Dave Campbell's football, which was a lot of fun. And also, we're going to be featured in the Star Telegram out of Fort Worth. And the Hood County News, I believe Hood County News may come out this Saturday. So if you folks want to grab a newspaper Saturday, grab a newspaper and you can throw the front part of what. No, I'm just kidding. You can look in the sports section. I believe that's where they'll have us. And check out another article about your favorite podcast team right here, brother, and sportscasters in the hood. Okay, number 5, I have a tie. I got Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back. Not the first one, but the second movie. That was the best one. It was the best one that was done. I think it was a really, really, really good put together out of the whole genre of Star Wars movies. It was the best one. And then Back to the Future. I've got it tied with Back to the Future. Man, Back to the Future is a stop-down movie, and if it's a stop-down movie, it's got to be on my list. So there you go.
All right, Doug, you want to go next?
Well, David stole my thunder because I had a Star Wars movie, and it happened to be Empire because like David said, it was the best one, I think, also.
Yep.
Princess Leia. Anyway, Empire Strikes Back is my number 5.
Very good.
All right. You're nerds, so I didn't go that way. I got number 5. I don't have a tie. Gosh darn it.
What?
Yeah, I'm not doing a tie. I'm going to go number 5, Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump?
It's a great movie. I mean, despite Tom Hanks being an idiot nowadays, I love the movie.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. Yeah, it's a good movie. All right, let's start with Doug with number 4.
Okay, you can't handle the truth. A Few Good Men.
Few Good Men's a good movie. Good movie. It's a stop-down movie, too. If it's on, man, you got to watch it. And it's got the greatness that is Demi Moore in that movie. Donnie, you're number 4.
My number 4 is a great Clint Eastwood movie. He's got a lot of them. But this one is it's just so good. $1 Million Baby.
$1 Million Baby. It's a pretty good movie.
It's
pretty good movie.
Cried.
Donnie cried like a baby. I thought it was Brokeback Mountain, but as a matter of fact, our next podcast, we're going to have the top 5 worst movies, our worst movies that we've ever had to sit through and watch, or at least start to watch. One of the ones that are on my list, a worst movie, is one that I went into the theater thinking it was going to be so great because of the actor that was in there. I started watching, and within about 6 minutes of the movie, I got up and I left. I paid a movie ticket, boys, and I left. I said, I ain't watching this. It's horrible. Okay, so get ready for that one. I'll be on the next podcast. All right, my number 4. Are you ready? Of course, you guys are a lot younger than me. And so I got to tip my hat to some cinematic greatness and a movie that, again, if it's on and I'm walking through the room, I'm stopping down, I'm going to watch it. It's got a lot of historical stuff, and I'm a historical, nerd. And so I'm
Charlie
going with
Chaplin
Gone
movie?
with... Huh?
Is it a Charlie Chaplin movie?
Shut up, Donnie. I'm going with Gone with the Wind. Gone with the Wind. And frankly, I don't give a damn what you say. Okay, so that's my number 4. All right, we're at number 3, and Donnie's going to kick us off on number 3.
My number 3.
Notebook, Donnie, right? The Notebook.
It's the Notebook? What? Is it the Notebook, Donnie?
It's a great movie, but it's not in my top 5. It's a great movie.
Okay.
Don't be hating on that movie. That's a great movie, man. I might go home and watch it tonight. But what are y'all laughing about? That's a great movie, man.
Okay, it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
My number 3 is another great movie. And if y'all don't think it's a great movie, something wrong with y'all. Y'all need a man up. But Cinderella Man. Such a good movie.
Cinderella Man. Okay.
Yeah, I do like that movie, Donnie. It's really, really, really good movie. I'm gonna go classic here. And I'm going with a horror movie.
Uh-huh.
I think probably one of the best ones I've ever watched in my life. Um, Here's Johnny. The Shining.
The Shining, great movie, Doug.
Yeah.
And again, another stop down movie. Good job. You just blew Donnie's away. That was really good, Doug. Donnie's movie was here, and then your movie was like, no, Donnie's movie was here, and your movie was like way up here. That was a good job, Doug. Just obliterated your brother. That was
With
lovely.
me or without me, man?
Yeah, in 1980s, yeah, that would have been great.
Okay, I got a movie.
It holds up, man.
It's a
That
classic.
movie holds up.
That's why they call it a classic, Donnie. Classics are way better than new stuff. Okay, here we go. Number 3 for me is The Dark Knight. Now, in the Batman movies, it stands alone as the best one ever. Heath Ledger won an Academy Award for it. And man, what a movie. And go back and watch it. If you haven't watched it in a while, go back and watch it again, because that movie had it all. And it was a good standalone. You forgot you were watching a superhero movie for a minute. It was just that intense. It was really, really good. I'm putting The Dark Knight as my number 3.
Good movie.
That's a dadgum good movie, Dave.
So let's see. Who started that one?
Donnie did.
I did.
Donnie
He
started.
picked the notebook.
So we're back to me. Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay. So number 2. Number 2, I'm going to go with the greatness. You know, if you put great people together, what are you going to get? Great things, right? So when you think of John Travolta, you think of a great actor, great actor, you know, very, very topical. People love his movies. People just love John Travolta. When you think of Bruce Willis, man, you think of a really, really great actor, right? And man, when you think about Samuel L. Jackson, you think of cinematic legend, right? I'm going with Pulp Fiction, number 2, guys. That movie had me at the edge of my seat from scene 1 all the way to the very, very end. Really, really good put together movie. Quentin Tarantino is a genius, and a very, very good movie. Number 2, Pulp Fiction, baby.
That's a good movie. Good. My number, or is it my turn?
Your turn, number 2.
All right, I'll go next. My number 2 is Tez Johnson, wide receiver out of Oregon. Oh, no. Number 2 is the great Mel Gibson, one of the great Hollywood people out there, one of the few great Hollywood people out there. Mel Gibson movie, Braveheart.
Man, you know what, Donnie? That's a much better movie than what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say Magic Mike, and I was really, really worried. But that was really good. That's a good movie.
Why did I let him go before me? So I had Braveheart, of course, is my number 2. Donnie had to steal it, so I'm gonna change. I got
it. You can have the same one.
Braveheart and Gladiator. I like both of them. I love both.
Good. You have a tie at number 2. That's good.
Donnie's got Braveheart at number 2. I'll put Gladiator as my number.
Good choice.
You got to have both of those movies in the top 5.
Yep, I love it.
You got to.
Very good. Very good. So we've
now
we're down to
my number 1. Okay.
Number 1, Doug.
So, like Donnie said, unfortunately, this has got an actor that we don't really care for nowadays. But I think, as far as cinematic, and when it came out, it just blew everything away that was ever made before about this. And it's based on truth. So, Saving Private Ryan, the greatest movie of all freaking time.
Very good, very good. Donnie, if you say Escape from Witch Mountain, I'm coming through the computer, okay? So go ahead.
I was gonna go with
Notebook.
What?
The Notebook.
No, not the Notebook.
Do not say the Doberman Gang. Okay, don't.
The Apple Dumpling Gang.
Yeah, don't.
I was going to go Herbie the Love Bug, but or any of the Elvis movies. No, Doug, great movie though. Saving Private Ryan is. I mean, that was
It's a good movie.
so well done. My number one is a movie. Man, I watch it anytime it's on. Man, it's so great. Shawshank Redemption. I think it's the best movie out there.
Yeah. Donnie is Doug. He tied you on two. He's tied me on number one. My number one is Shawshank Redemption, and man, what a movie! And again, stop down movie. You walk through the room, and who could believe that Donnie would like Shawshank Redemption over his two, which we know his three favorite movies is Brokeback Mountain and Magic Mike. Man, very good job, Donnie. Very good job. Doug, run down your five for us.
My top five?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 5, Empire Strikes Back. Number 4, A Few Good Men You Cannot Handle the Truth. Number 3, The Shining. Number 2, Gladiator / Braveheart. And number 1, and I can't believe you guys left this movie off your top 5 at all. Saving Private Ryan? Come on. The greatest movie ever.
Good movie. Donnie, run down your 5 again.
Yeah, I had a tie. Say at number 5. Save It Private Ryan and Forrest Gump. My number 4 was $1 Million Baby. My number 3 was Cinderella Man. Number 2, Braveheart, and number 1, Shawshank Redemption.
Very good. And I had number 5, Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back, and Back to the Future. I had number 4, Gone with the Wind. I had number 3, The Dark Knight. Number 2, Pulp Fiction. And number 1, Shawshank Redemption. Those are very, very good. And we want to hear what you listeners have to say. Let me see if I've got anybody.
My list wins.
Plugged in here, Donnie. And
my list is better.
Nope, nobody's commented on it. So,
you know what?
Good. Well, you know what? Everybody's list was right.
Another good Mel Gibson movie is The Patriot. Man, I love that one too.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Patriot's a good movie. Just watched it the other day.
It's awesome.
Just watched it the other day. By the way, guys, if y'all got Netflix, you need to watch Cobra Kai, the final season. Really, really good. They did that really, really good. Good justice there. Okay. You ready for the next list? Donnie, tell us what the next list is.
The next list is, Canada and USA are battling it out for this hockey thing that they had a big fight. They booed our national anthem, the stinking Canadians, that maybe they'll be our 51st state pretty soon. If they're smart, they would.
Hey,
so
Donnie.
The top 5 sports rivalries.
Top 5 sports rivalries. Before we do that, can I put this picture of Luka Doncic up real quick?
No.
I know. Huh?
No.
Oh, okay.
Leave it alone.
All right, Donnie, you go first. You go first on number 5.
All right, I got a tie. Number 5. It involves USA both times. I got the USA versus Mexico soccer national teams game. Those teams do not like each other. The fans don't like each other. It's greatness. I know y'all don't understand soccer, but believe me, it's pretty awesome. And the other one would be, obviously right now, USA versus Canada. Can't wait for the game tomorrow night. I don't even really watch hockey, but I'll watch that one.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Doug?
Number 5. Okay. My number 1, I guess, rivalry.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Number 5 is going to be college football. I'm going this way for about 3 of my picks. I think Miami, Florida State.
Yeah, that was a big rival for a long time.
Each other.
Yeah. When it came to this list, Donnie, I had a hard time because I've had so many different rivals. You remember back when it was the Southwest Conference, right? And, to me, the big rivalry for me was when my TCU Horned Frogs would take on them nasty elitist over there, the Longhorns or the Democrats out of Austin. And, I hated those guys. But I took this as I took this real serious. I was thinking more pro sports than anything else. And I looked on here and I said, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. You know, I don't like either one of the teams. I kind of like the Bears a little bit. But when those two teams play each other, man, they forget that they're not any good. Like, I've seen the Chicago Bears when they had horrible quarterbacks play against Green Bay, and while Green Bay was kicking everybody's butt, and they'd go in there and they'd beat them because they hate each other. Those two teams hate each other. Great rivalry, the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears.
All right, number 4, Doug.
Okay, I'm going another college ranking. This is going to be number 2 out of my 3 colleges. Oklahoma State, Michigan.
Yeah, that's a good rivalry.
Who? Ohio State and Michigan?
Yeah.
That's a good one. That was in my honorable mention. That is a great rivalry. Am I up next, or David, you next?
I believe I'm next. And I'm going to go basketball when basketball was good. And it was the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics. Man, I used to watch them guys go at it, and they still don't like each other. But that's a great, great rivalry, the LA Lakers and the Boston Celtics.
That's a good rivalry, and one of the reasons that the NBA made sure they got Luka over at LA to get the Lakers to be, the top team always. I looked at this list like, there's some pros and there's some college, some national team. Obviously, I started out with the USA and Mexico. A lot of it is the teams, the way they don't like each other, right? And the fans, they don't like each other, what it means. And my number 4 is, I go back to mainly more when we were younger. This was one of the best rivalries in all of sports. It's maybe going to get back there again because this team is starting to get good again. Maybe if the Cowboys can get good again, it'll be something. But the Cowboys versus the Redskins, and maybe we'll bring back the Redskins. There's a thing I've been hearing. They're looking to go back to the Redskins. But what a great rivalry that was, especially in the 70s and the 80s.
Yep. We'll come back to that one. Are we at 3?
Yes. And
so my number 3, I've got a tie. No, I've got a winner here. I've decided to put a winner here. You said our lifetime, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Number 3, I'm going with professional wrestling, and I'm going with the Von Erichs and the Freebirds, baby. I mean, that was so hot back in my day, man. I hated the stinking Freebirds, man. And I just cheered them on all the time and everything. And of course, I loved my little old Von Erichs and everything. They were good boys, and everything. Till I found out that Josh Hamilton got them hooked on drugs, and then I started hating them.
Josh Hamilton wasn't alive then.
What?
He wasn't around.
Okay.
That's a great one, though, man. I forgot all about that, and that's a great, great rivalry right there, man.
Doug?
I'm next, sir.
Number 3?
I'm still trying to wrap my head around. Oh, here's a good one. Since we're doing off the wall sports, let's go with Darrell Waltrip versus Dale Earnhardt.
NASCAR Doug, come on now.
That was one of the top rivalries in the sport.
Who'd you say it was?
Let me go with my tie for number 3.
What'd you say it was? It was Dead Dirty Dale Earnhardt and who?
Darrell Waltrip.
And Darrell Waltrip.
Yeah.
Dead Dirty
Dale?
Dale.
Darrell was the king, and Dale Earnhardt came in and knocked his crown off his daggum pea-brain head. So anyway,
did Dead Dirty Dale Earnhardt? Did he ever push him into the wall?
So tie for number 3 is going to be. I've got the Raiders and Steelers, Cowboys, Eagles.
Okay, very good. So everybody's done their 3?
Yeah.
All right, so we're at 2. Who goes first?
No, I didn't do number 3 yet.
Yeah. Who was
I
it?
didn't do 3 yet. Yeah, what's your 3, Donnie?
My number 3 is I dislike both these teams. I dislike one more than the other. But obviously they show it every time they play each other. They show it on ESPN. So, and it's been a long, great rivalry ever since Babe Ruth, because the Red Sox got stupid and traded Babe Ruth for a musical. So the Red Sox versus the Yankees, that's my number three. There, I mean, that's a great rivalry.
Yeah, it's a great rivalry. Really good rivalry. Really good rivalry.
And
All
my
right,
number
so
two.
Doug, you start us off at number two.
Okay, number two, another tie. Sorry, folks. Again, I'm going with the Red Sox and Yankees with Donnie, and number two has got to be just a little bit in front of the Red Sox Yankees. I'm going with Celtics Lakers.
Celtics Lakers. Yeah, I had them at 4. That's good. All righty. We are at number 2. And I believe I go first.
Sure.
So, number 2.
Number two first.
Huh?
I was first on number 2. Now, is your number 2?
Yeah, number 2. I'm going with, okay, you ready? Here we go. I'm going with you said my lifetime. My lifetime's been too damn long, Donnie. And I remember when the Cowboys and the Washington Redskins hated each other, and they were massive rivals, and they were the biggest rivals for me at the time. And then it was the Cowboys and the Giants. You remember the Giants got good, and they started winning a couple of things, so then it was the Giants, and then it's the Philadelphia Eagles, the Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles and everything. So I'm going to go Cowboys against Philly, Washington, and the Giants. No particular order. That's number 2 for me. I hate them.
I like it.
By the way, to let everybody know, in the NFC Championship this year, it was the the Washington Commanders and the Philadelphia Eagles. Makes me want to puke.
Yeah, it's horrible. My number 2 is wide receiver out of Oregon, Tez Johnson. Oh, my number 2 is college football. I mean, college football has great rivalries all up and down the area, but I've got to go with my Longhorns. The Longhorns against the Sooners. I mean, the Cotton Bowl, that stadium is split orange and whatever cute color that the Sooners wear. Great rivalry, Texas OU.
Texas OU, pretty big. That's pretty big. All right. We are down to number 1. Number 1. Who goes first? Me?
Yes.
Or is it you? It's me?
Yeah.
It's you.
Okay. Number 1. Here we go. I'm going with the Texas Rangers and the New York Yankees.
What?
Yeah, I can't stand it. Every time the Yankees and the Rangers play one another, and I lose my freaking mind, man. I lose my mind.
It's not a rivalry, David.
It is a rivalry.
No.
They hate each other.
It's for you. It's a rivalry for you.
For me. Okay, then I'm going to go with my second guess, which is Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Politics is a sport, baby.
Now, David, if you would have said Rangers and the Astros, I would have maybe agreed with you on that. But
aren't the Astros and the Yankees the same team?
No.
My bad.
Yeah. Doug, you're number 1.
My number 1 is going to be Texas OU.
Good pick, Doug. My number 1, because I like to bring it all down and everybody loves everybody. Kumbaya. It's the way sports should be done, because you just go out there and play the game, and it's for America. And
I want to see more violence.
It's America, baby. Army versus Navy's got to be number 1.
Oh yeah, that's a good rivalry. Good rivalry.
My
that's
list
really
is so
good.
much better than y'all's. Yeah, I said it.
But you said Magic Mike was your favorite movie.
No, that was you, David. I saw your movie collection, and it's got that Magic Mike and Magic Mike 2, Magic Mike 3.
those are June's movies.
Magic Mike 69, all that. You got it.
Those are June's movies.
Hey, biggest question of the night.
Okay, the big question of the night before we cut out of here, folks. It's cold. Bundle up real tight, and if you have to get in that kitchen and fix you something, you're gonna want to fix you some chili. And we're gonna talk about
chili tonight. Yeah, baby.
You're gonna have some chili. And the big question is, if you're a Texan, do you put beans in your chili?
No. No beans in the chili, man.
No beans in the chili.
No.
The only time I put beans in the chili is when I make my Frito pie. You know what I'm saying? That's the only time I put beans in my chili. That's it.
And I'll tell you what, I'm going to do it right now. I'll put this out there. I'll have a chili cooking contest against all you guys, and I'll win.
No, you won't.
Because I'm not cooking. My wife is, and she makes the best chili.
Oh Lord, you crazy. You crazy, man.
I don't cook, so therefore my wife cooks everything that I eat. So yeah, I'll take that bet. You're gonna regret because she makes the best there's ever been.
Hey, out of the top three tonight, the best things that happened, the top three things that happened out of this show tonight is we got to talk baseball, number 3. And number 2, Tez Johnson out of Oregon, wide receiver. And then, of course, number 1 is seeing this beautiful mug on the YouTube dial for about an hour and a half.
Okay, no. My top 3. Number one. We got to talk sports, which I love talking sports and everything. Always fun and everything else like that. Number 2. We got to talk some NFL draft and some Ranger baseball, man. I'm real excited about Ranger baseball. But the number 1, and Donnie, you missed this one by a country mile. I mean, I don't know why. Doug actually figured out how to get on the podcast. I loved it. Loved it. There you go. Number 2. We love having Doug on. You have to join us more there, Mr. Busybody.
Well, I mean, I usually get on my phone and it works just fine. I haven't opened my personal laptop in probably over a year and a half, so it did not work, and I had to use my wife's MacBook laptop that she got me on your StreamYard. So,
hey Doug,
yeah.
what was the name of your business that you had for several years? And you did a business. You had a business. What was the name of the business?
I don't want to put it out there no more.
What was the name of the business?
CRT Technologies.
Technologies, and you in technology, huh?
Yeah, my computer it didn't come back. It wouldn't come alive. I dusted it off and opened it up, and it would not let me put in my PIN number.
Yes, Donnie.
Hey guys, we got to go ahead and cut this off because I don't have very good internet at my place. I had to break into my neighbor's house, and I think I hear them pulling up, so I got to get out of here.
All right, man. You get going. We're going to get going. Hey, guys, it's baseball season. If y'all want to join me on any of the baseball broadcasts, we'd appreciate it. I got 6 opening day tickets, and I'm taking 6 of my closest friends are people who have taken me to games. And so stand by.
Hey,
and until next,
did the color girls win the other night?
No, the girls lost and the boys lost in the by-district round. But the girls got all the way to regional semifinalists. Congratulations to them.
Yes.
Until next time, folks, God bless you, and we'll see you down the road.
See ya.
Go Rattlers.